Yusei Fudo versus the Crash Town Goons. OTKs in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are either the accumulation of an entire duel where the protagonist has finally gotten all the pieces they need together and are able to break the opponent's ultimate board and defeat them with one final giant assault. Or they are other times just simply a sign that however on earth this matchup has happened, it probably shouldn't have because the skill gap was clearly too great. Today we're going to be looking at the latter kind. However, this one is special since it's not just an OTK, it's...
たった1ターンで3人をワンターン3キル。おー、こいつはすげえ。
Let's be honest, there's probably no way that these three unnamed duelists ever stood a chance at beating Yusei Fudo as he's showcasing his ultimate ability as a duelist, but I just thought it'd be kind of fun to see, is it possible that they even had a chance of victory? If nothing else, it'd just be kind of nice to know exactly how did Yusei pull off this awesome OTK. However, just before we do that, I've got a little bonus thing for you. Now, if you don't know what an OTK is, it stands for one turn kill. It means that you've just won in a single turn. There is a step up from this, however, called a first turn kill, FTK. Basically, it's the same as an OTK, except you don't even give your opponent a chance to start their first turn. And guess what? 2 episodes after Yusei performs the 3-in-1 OTK, a FTK occurs. Since it's a short duel, I thought we'd cover it really quickly before we do the main event. So without further ado, let's jump into the duel. The duel begins, and it's the final turn of the duel. Lawton draws, and his opening hand consists of Gatling Ogre and 5 mysterious cards. Now, the identity of these 5 mysterious cards isn't a huge deal because it doesn't really matter what they are. However, to make an educated guess on what they are based on cards he uses from later duels, then most likely his hand also consists of Skill Successor, Barrel Behind the Door, Secret Barrel, Explosive Wall, and Narrow Tunnel. Lawton summons his Gatling Ogre to the field into attack. He then sets his 5 cards face down. Now, due to the effect of Gatling Ogre, it can send a set spell or trap to the grave to inflict 800 damage. Lawton uses this effect 5 times in a row. He sends all of his back row to the graveyard, Radley's life points drop to 0, and Lawton wins the duel. Could Radley have won this duel? No, I don't think he could have. No. The only way he could have had a chance is either that he demanded that he went first. However, I think Crashdown rules state that whoever draws first gets to go first. So technically it was a skill issue as well. The only other way he could have stood a chance is if he had Effect Veiler in his deck and was able to shut down Gatling Ogre's ability. However, I think only Yusei has Effect Veiler. So gutted for him. I don't know. He'd have to fabricate like a modern day card like Dimension Shifter. So the whole point of the matter is he didn't stand a chance. He's just done. He's cooked. He's finished. Anyway, let's get to the main event, shall we? Before the duel begins, Yusei does something kind of cool. He says the previous protagonist's catchphrase.
Get your game on.
Get your game on, Zane!
The duel begins and Yusei goes first. He draws, and his opening hand consists of Changer Synchron, Quillbolt Hedgehog, Gauntlet Warrior, Junk Barrage, Synchro Over Limit, and a mysterious card. This mysterious card doesn't matter at all since Yusei doesn't need it to win, so it doesn't really matter what it is. Yusei summons Changer Synchron to the field into defense. Due to its effect, if it is sent to the grave for a Synchro summon, Yusei can select one monster the opponent controls and change its battle position. You might have noticed that at this point in the duel, its effect is unnecessary at the moment, and with its non-existent attack and defense points, how does he plan to keep this monster alive long enough to see any benefits from it? Well, luckily, since this is a Battle Royale duel, the rules state that no one is allowed to attack on their first turn. So we have to go all the way around back to Yusei before anyone can declare an attack. So with that, this monster is safe. Yusei ends his turn by setting Synchro Over Limit face down. It's Goon number 1's turn, and he draws. His opening hand consists of Fuse Ray Blaster, Fuse Ray Blaster, Fuse Ray Blaster, Pot of Avarice, and 2 mysterious cards. Real quick, I'd just like to thank Twitter. I asked everybody, based on this image right here, can anybody figure out what that card is based on this little tiny bit of artwork we get on this card? And you know what? Twitter came through. It was kind of surprising how many different cards this card could have been. There's a lot of cards with black, purpley kind of artwork stuff in there, but everyone seemed to say, yeah, this is Pot of Avarice. Thank you, Internet Sleuths. I appreciate the help. And as for the two other cards, they were probably unplayable, so perhaps another copy of Pot of Avarice. And as for the trap, well, I can't even guess really. If you guys want to give me an example of a trap card that isn't worth setting face down because it's completely unusable at the time, and maybe didn't want to set it because it might have been destroyed or something, let me know in the comment section below. What was this mysterious trap? Goon number 1 summons his Fuse Ray Blaster to the field and ends his turn. This monster, spoilers, is these 3 duelists' win condition. All of them play it, meaning there are 9 in total between them all. Because of this, they can make best use of its effect, which is, if this face-up card is in attack position when a Fuse Ray Blaster is summoned, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. It's Goon number 2's turn, and he draws. His opening hand consists of Fuse Ray Blaster, Fuse Ray Blaster, Fuse Ray Blaster, Pot of Avarice, and 2 mysterious cards. I know, we'll get to it a little bit later. Before that, Goon number 2 immediately summons his copy of Fuse Ray Blaster into attack. This summon triggers the effect of Goon number 1's Fuse Ray Blaster. Since it was an attack when another copy of itself was summoned to the field, it inflicts 800 damage to Yusei. Goon number 2 ends his turn. It's Goon number 3's turn, and he draws. His opening hand consists of, you guessed it, Fuse Ray Blaster, Fuse Ray Blaster, Fuse Ray Blaster, Pot of Avarice, and 2 mysterious cards. Alright, look, let's quickly address this. Yes, it's very sus that all 3 duelists have the exact same cards in, let's be honest, the exact same order as well. If you at home are saying right now, well, they obviously cheated and stacked the deck, I'm not going to argue against them. You're probably right. It does seem that way. However, my only defense against that argument is the fact that, well, nobody brings it up really. It's never sort of hinted that they might have cheated, which would be even more of an impressive feat for Yusei. So, in my mind, the most likely reason is literally because they're just fodder enemies. The animators just can't be bothered to animate a whole brand new hand for them, so they're just like, I don't know, just hide the cards and then that's fine. And let's be honest, if they did stack their decks, they probably should have put double summon in there. With double summon in hand as well, they would have just won. So, since that's not the case, I think it's just an animation thing. Anyway, yet again, Goon number 3 also summons his Fuse Ray Blaster to the field into attack. Goon number 1 and Goon number 2's Fuse Ray Blaster's effects trigger since another of itself was summoned to the field. Both monsters deal 800 damage to Yusei each. At this point in the duel, it is revealed to us, the audience, that each of these guys have 2 more copies of Fuse Ray Blaster in their hand, implying that no matter what Yusei does, as soon as he ends his turn and they start doing their turn, this whole thing will just repeat again, and Yusei will lose the duel. So it seems Yusei is in quite a pickle. If only there was some way he could just win in just like one turn, defeat all 3 opponents in like a single turn, but that's what's that? It's Yusei's turn, and the final turn of the duel. He draws and gets Quick Draw Synchron. With all the pieces in place, Yusei goes for game. He starts by activating Quick Draw Synchron's effect, which lets it special summon itself to the field by discarding a card in his hand. He discards Quillbolt Hedgehog to summon it. Now, since Quillbolt Hedgehog is in the grave and there's a tuner on the field, Yusei can use Quillbolt's effect to special summon itself to the field from the grave. However, the next time it leaves the field now, it will be banished. And so, with a level 2 non-tuner and a level 5 tuner, Yusei tunes them together to synchro summon Nitro Warrior. Quillbolt Hedgehog is banished as it leaves the field. With Nitro Warrior on the field, its effect is once during each of your turns, if you activate a spell card, this card gains 1000 attack during its next attack. Once per turn, if this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can change one face-up defense position monster your opponent controls to attack position and attack it with this card. With all that in mind, Yusei normal summons his Gauntlet Warrior. He tunes his level 3 non-tuner Gauntlet Warrior with his level 1 tuner Changer's Synchron. He synchro summons Armory Arm. Since Changer's Synchron was sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon, its effect lets Yusei switch a monster into defense. He switches Goon number 3's Fuse Ray Blaster into defense. That'll become important later. Yusei uses the effect of Armory Arm, which allows it to equip itself to a monster. He equips it to Nitro Warrior. While equipped, it gains 1000 attack. Also, when it destroys a monster by battle, it inflicts damage to the opponent equal to the destroyed monster's attack. With all this, he's still not done. He uses Junk Barrage, equipping it to Nitro Warrior. Now with Junk Barrage equipped, when the equipped monster destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, half the attack of the destroyed monster is dealt as damage. Since a spell has been activated, Nitro Warrior's attack boosting effect is primed and ready during its next battle. And so, Yusei enters his battle phase. Nitro Warrior attacks Goon number 2's Fuse Ray Blaster first. Fuse Ray Blaster number 2 is destroyed. Since a monster was destroyed, Armory Arm's effect activates, inflicting damage equal to the destroyed monster's attack. Goon number 2's life points drop to 0, meaning Junk Barrage's effect didn't even need to activate here since he'd already won. Nitro Warrior's 1000 attack boost goes away. Yusei activates the second effect of Nitro Warrior, which allows it to switch Goon number 3's Fuse Ray Blaster back into attack. By doing this, Nitro Warrior can attack again. He attacks Fuse Ray Blaster number 3. It is destroyed. The effect of Armory Arm activates, followed by the effect of Junk Barrage. With this extra 1600 and 800 damage, Goon number 3 is eliminated. Finally, with one opponent left, Yusei activates his set Synchro Over Limit. This allows Nitro Warrior to attack again. Nitro Warrior attacks and destroys Goon number 1's Fuse Ray Blaster. Armory Arm's effect, followed by Junk Barrage trigger, reducing Goon number 1's life points down to 0. Yusei wins the duel. Oh, sick gun spin, Yusei. Right, let's be honest, there's absolutely no way these characters was ever going to win this duel. There's no chance. However, saying that, the only discrepancy I have with the outcome is that it depends on what that mysterious spell card and what that mysterious trap card were. Most likely, they were unplayable, so I guess it doesn't really matter too much, but it would have been nice to know what these were. To solidify, yeah, they stood no chance. But I mean, the one card we knew, Pot of Avarice, that wouldn't have helped, so that's fine. They couldn't have won with that way. My only other issue is that by Crashtown rules, typically the first person to draw gets to choose who goes first. Technically in this duel, the 3 goons drew before Yusei. However, it was Yusei who decided the turn order for this duel. So is that a bit of shenanigans right there? I'm actually going to say no. I think there's a chance that when it comes to a battle royale duel, the rules might be different since, let's be honest, the lone duelist has a bigger disadvantage, so most likely they get to pick the turn order. So he was like, I'll go first, then Yuku can go second. So I think that makes the most sense. So the moral of this is, yeah, Yusei clapped, and these 3 opponents had absolutely no chance. It's what they get, I guess, for being unnamed henchmen. It's their own fault. Occupational hazard. That was a short but sweet episode, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless. If you want to watch more, click on this video right here, or perhaps you're more of a this video right here kind of person. You can watch that one instead if you want to. Hope you all enjoyed. Catch you later.